able to wake up for the college in the mornings, just getting dressed up anyhow and reaching the classroom, then sleeping in the class. Now I get up at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I reach office at 4, sometimes 3:30, and I come back say about 9 in the night at times. So that's how my journey has been, I would say in short. Well, I've not actually thought about it because once you're on the journey, you never think about it. Once you reach your destination, then you look back on your journey. So I think that I have not reached my destination as of now. I'm still in that journey. So that's all I would like to say.
That. Thank you. When did you know, or when did you feel that this is the career that you wanted to pursue, or when you wanted that this is the job that you wanted for you?
Uh, I don't know. There's no particular instance that I can think of, but my father is also in the Indian Air Force. So maybe somewhere in the back of my mind, it was always there, and I never realized it. Uh, I worked in TCS also for some amount of time, but mm, from a very beginning, I always seeked adventure in my life, I guess. So that's what triggered me and made me decide that maybe I'm not satisfied in the job that I'm doing, and I need to serve the nation.
That's very interesting. On to the next question. How did you feel when you were operating the helicopter, and how do you cope up with such extremely tough situations?
Okay, so I don't fly the helicopter. I travel in it because I'm the engineering officer in helicopters. So simply, if I put it across, it's just another machine for us. We work day in and day out on it, so it's just a machine for us. However, what makes it not just a machine is the value that it holds. As I mentioned earlier, also we we ensure difficult tasks across the country are carried out very seamlessly. So we reach people who need help in providing supplies, or we save lives. During the floods, you would have seen helicopters doing their job on the news, and we are the people behind it. So that gives immense satisfaction and sense of pride to me. And that is the only thing which helps me cope all the difficulties, because at the end of the day, when you come back, you know that somewhere you have affected some lives, you have saved some lives, and some people are thankful that we are here and working here day and night. So that just helps you cope every difficulty and keep going.
Right, that's very true. What more career options are available for an EXTC engineer in Indian Air Force if our students wanted to pursue it?
You can always apply for being an engineering officer in the Air Force, or you can go into the flying as well if you're interested. Other than that, we have different branches like the logistics, accounts, and you need not be a qualified CA to be in that department. So if you go on to the website that I just told, Career Air Force, you'll get to see the eligibility. So most of the branches, we all, as an engineer, we qualify for it. That's a plus point being an engineer. So don't worry, you can join Air Force and not be an engineering officer also, or not be a flyer, and still be a part of the Indian Air Force and serve the nation. So
Right, thank you for the insights. Then could you tell us about some of the highs and lows of a job?
hmm, well, everyone's life, I suppose, have a fair share of highs and lows, and it's the same with me. It is an privilege to be able to help people across the country, to save them during extreme situations like floods, casualties. Mm, and at times, it's really humbling to know that people wherein there are no road connectivities, when we ensure that food reaches them, they actually look up to us as angels or gods, I would say. And that is a very humbling feeling, I would say. And I generally travel a lot because of my commitments. So we go to places like Chatin, Limiking, Vijayanagar, which you all would not have heard about, and you can Google it today where it is. So there is no network at places. We stay there for a month, 1.5 months with no network connectivity. We're not able to call our families for that long and not tell them how we are. So at times that are the lows. But apart from that, when you stay at such places, interact with the people, and see how much they value us and what difference we are bringing in their life, how we are helping them, that is what are the highs, definitely for me. So we, I would say that at times we visit such beautiful places that you can't capture in your camera lenses as well. So that gives you a sense of high. But then while working, sometimes you're not able to, we witness deaths. I have seen plane crashes. I have known people, and like a day or 2 days before that, we were sitting together and talking, and maybe 2 days after that, that person is no more. We are not able to every time help out a casualty, and the person doesn't survive. So all that brings you down. But then certain days or night ups and lows are a part and parcel of this job, I suppose. And you just gather your strength and courage and keep going to help as many as you can. That's it, I would say.
Right, that's really deep. So could you tell us more about your family life after joining the Indian Air Force, and how do you balance your job and your family life?
Well, I would say my family has been very supportive in this. They have their own fears. I would frankly tell you that my mother, she's always tense. So because I go to places that I was telling without network, and then 25 days or more, I am not in the network zone, or I am able to just send a normal text to her in a week or so. So she's totally tensed all the time, but they don't show that to me. So she's always constantly in touch with my colleagues, and that's how she tells me that they're all her friends, but actually she's keeping a tab on me, whether what am I doing, have they heard from me or something like that. So they are a big pillar of strength in my life. uh, Considering our working hours, it's very difficult that you come back so late and so tired, and then you engage in a video call or a long talk with your family. So at times it becomes difficult to balance the family life and the work life here. But somehow I think everybody is managing that, and the families are understanding all this and they're supporting. So a big kudos to the families of all the serving personals, I would say, who understand and serve and be a pillar from wherever they are. Whether we don't reach home for 6 months, 8 months together, they understand, and actually their understanding only gives us strength to keep going. That's all I would say.
All right, thank you for your contributions to your country. You have served in various states, Assam, West Bengal, and Sikkim. So, what are some of the hardships you have to face when you have to constantly move from one place to another place?
For me, it wasn't that difficult because my father being in Air Force, I have from a very early age, um, I'm used to that kind of life, that shifting in every 2 years, 1.5 year or so. But yes, it surely is a task to adapt to changes that quickly. You are at times in a most humid place one day, and suddenly you're posted to a place with an extremely cold weather, and it takes a lot of work to train your body and mind to get accustomed to such weather changes. It also gets difficult to travel at times because like I was saying, there are places where there is no road connectivity, or you don't have flights there. You have to travel by various means of uh, various traveling modes. And then most of the time, because of so many changes or being at some extreme things, our luggage gets damaged. Like if we come to a place like east, there's so much rain. When our luggage is being transported, half of it gets drenched in the rain and gets ruined. So it gets taxing to constantly relocate, but it is also an opportunity to see new places, meet new people, and keep learning about our India.
Yeah. So out of all your experiences, which is the one which sticks out the most?
Okay, I'll like to tell a story here.
Yeah.
To uh, There's one instance that I had which has affected me a lot, and whenever I feel low anytime, I think about that, and I keep going. So my first posting after the training, I was in Assam, and because of a task, we had gone to a place in Arunachal called Vijayanagar. And Vijayanagar is a very small town where there is no road connectivity. So we only go by helicopters there. So the all the food that is there, all there's a small school there because a retired army officer has settled there and he teaches the kids of those village. So there's a small school, few houses, like 10, 12 houses, and those 12 families. That's it. So we take all the amenities for them. So in my initial days, I got an opportunity to go there and stay there for a week. There was no network, and there was no power supply. The only power supply was they had solar panels. So in the morning, whatever energy they could save, they would use that. So by 9:30 in the night, the electricity would go off. So after 9:30, it used to be pitch dark there, and our stay used to be in a small hut. So after 9:30, there's no street light. You can just try and visualize it. No street lights, nothing, just the stars and moons, whatever light you can see coming from there. So it used to be a visual of a haunted place, and as if I'm in a horror movie. But when we reached there, all the families were there to welcome us because we were the food providers to them. So the sarpanch of the village, he called us for lunch, and we went there, and he had cooked a very delicious fish curry for us. While having it, I just questioned him. That's a Do you have a river source nearby where you get this fish from? So he told me he pointed towards his mother, who was 82 years old, and she was sitting there, and she couldn't speak Hindi or English. So he pointed towards her and said that. Me and my mother, we had gone to the river source, which is 12 kilometers from here. So they had walked 12 kilometers because her mother told that these Air Force people are coming with the food for us, and I want to cook fish for them, a delicacy. So she, at the age of 82 years, had walked 12 kilometers one way and came back 12 kilometers to just catch a fish and cook it for us. And that itself made me feel, I don't know, I had tears in my eyes, and I guess that explains that what kind of a experience it is to work like this.
That's really something we should all learn from. So what do you feel as per your experiences, what should what we should additionally do to enter into the defense field?
I don't think anything different is to be done to be a part of Air Force, or I would say any military forces. Be yourself, just be determined, keep working hard, and be focused. That's it. You just need to be ready to work and be satisfied with the work that you're doing. Be happy in what you're doing. If you want to be if you're liking the work, I'm sure you would have a satisfied sleep in the night, and that's what that will drive you and will make you ensure that whatever work you're doing, it is the best. That's it. You will do wonders in whatever you do if you're very focused and you're liking the job that you're doing. That's it. just work towards that.
All right. So could you tell us some of your experiences from your academic training, some of the things which are really memorable?
Uh, well, it's all memorable as of now. It's been 8 years now. I think 7 years now since my training. So the best part is, you're so many of you. We're all lost at that time, and we have a very tough training schedule. So the only and we don't have phones during our training. So the only family that you have are your colleagues. So at the end, by the end of the training, you all are more of like brothers and sisters. So now I speak less to my sister, but I know everything about my colleagues who was posted somewhere other in some corner of India. But I'll keep in touch with that person, maybe not with my sister that much, because we know their families now. My family and their families are friends. So that's a good thing about Air Force, that I feel you all become a big family, and you're there to help each other out no matter what. So that's it. That's Other than that, all the basic fun that you have in college and hostel, it's the same during training also. That's it.
Right. Could you tell us about how are you trained in the academy, or what all do you have to go through? What are the some intense or training you have to go through in the academy for Indian Air
If
Force?
I tell you, I'll have to kill you. No,
Right.
but then if I tell you all the integrities of the training, then I would be taking away the surprise. And also, we are not supposed to be telling you, because you'll be then trained for it. So we've had a tough time. All those who are planning to join should also have a tough time, is it? No, but we have a basic schedule. We work on our physical fitness. So we have normally early mornings, we start with the running sessions, exercises, and strengthening of our body. So you all must have seen Lakshya movie and Uri and all those. So whatever they show in that, the physical training, holding the bicycles on your head while punishment and running around the ground, that's all true. I like to tell you all. So I have done that. I have had a cycle over my head and I have ran. So it's all true and it's not that difficult. You can do it. Everyone can do it. So more or less it's the same. We just have more of a physical training wherein they build our endurance, and we have a difficult schedule. Like we get less sleep time, and that's also to prepare us for times like Uri, Galwan, and all, wherein we actually don't get that much sleep time. We're always on alert, and we have to ensure that everything is prepared. Like for me preparing a helicopter, I know that there'll be people in it who will be flying, so I have to be, even though I'm sleep deprived, I cannot take chances. And because of my mistake or my sleeplessness, there can't be an incident wherein people lose life. So to train us for that, they just ensure that our bodies are trained in a fashion wherein, even if we're sleep deprived, even if there's a lot of pressure, even if somebody is shouting on me, even then, whatever work I am doing, it should be perfect. There shouldn't be any flaw in it. And so that's it. That's what they train you for.
Right. So how was your experience being at Delhi Rajpath parade on Republic Day? How
Oh,
does it feel?
it was a wonderful feeling. I'll tell you. I am one of those people who every year I used to watch RD Parade even before joining Air Force. I used to watch RD Parade every 26th January. So when they uh, and it's not easy. Like it's kind of like it's very difficult to get selected for it, because it's, if you all know, it's like a roadies competition. So a lot of people apply for it, and then we have a training there also for about 2 months. And during that 2 months, every week we have elimination rounds. So it's kind of a roadies feeling. And then post that, when you get selected, The day that you're on the Rajpath, it's just another feeling altogether. You uh, like when I went there and I saw there were around 13, 14 military bands. They were all playing their own songs. 13, 14 contingents who were practicing for marching. And once you are given a go ahead to march on that Rajpath, when you can see, like, till as far as you can see, you'll see a straight road with different colors of marching contingents marching in front of you, and you can see India Gate. So that feeling, you just get goosebumps in that. And I'm so honored that Indian Air Force thought that I should be given that privilege. I had a gala of a time and once in a lifetime experience, I must tell you guys. And if you ever get an opportunity, please witness it at the Rajpath. Get passes and witness it. It's not the same as you watch it on TV.
Yeah. So could you tell us how were you trained exactly? I mean, for this whole parade. I
For
mean,
the parade,
yeah,
okay,
before
it's
getting selected.
it's almost the same. We used to get up at 2:30, then 3:30 we used to start with our running and exercises in the cold, wearing sweaters and thermals. Then after 2.5 hours of all these exercise and training, when we used to be drenched in the sweat, we used to get 15 minutes of break for drinking water. Then again we used to practice the marching for about 2 hours or so. So like this, we used to train till 12 in the afternoon. Then we used to get a break for lunch and resting, and then again from 4 in the afternoon to 6:30 in the evening we used to train again. So it used to comprise of basic marching practice and the physical endurance building to march for 12 kilometers.
That's amazing. So what were some of the things you learned in Agnels which still apply to you till date?
Well, being a student at Agnel was an extremely enriching experience for me. It was the first time I was away from home. I was a hostelite in Agnel. So, and that too living in a different city altogether. It came with its own difficulties of adapting, adjusting. I didn't know Marathi at that time. So, but most importantly, it meant a new phase of life where I started understanding myself better. I learned a lot from all the teachers, my colleagues, and all the hostelites who are still a big source of inspiration and guidance for me, I would say. I still keep in touch with most of them. I try to keep in touch with most of them. And at this institution, I would say I developed values and morals which I hold very close to my heart till date. It was an absolute gala being there in the college and hostel, exploring, discussing everything. It wasn't less than a movie, I would say, full of fun, drama, exams ka tension, midnight Maggies, getting scolded from Anita ma'am, Megha ma'am. They would tell you these stories. I was one of the notorious ones, I would say. So I had a lot of learning how to cope with failures, how to not, there are not enough words to express the experience, honestly. And I'm sure you all would also be having those experiences. And being there now, I don't know if you guys are getting an opportunity to be on the campus because of the corona, but I really hope that you guys do, because it's an experience altogether. And being a part of Agnes family is a blessing, I would say.
Yes, yeah. So could you tell us about your future plans from here on out? What more you have to want to do or what more you want to pursue?
uh, See, inside here, it's all very organized. It's just like a private company. Like you keep promoting yourself and working. So as of now, I've already trained myself on three kinds of helicopters, and I hope that the organization feels that I'm worthy enough to continue working and learning and shifting to more advanced helicopters. That's it. And I've picked up a I've reached till squadron leader rank. I hope I keep going ahead and getting promoted and keep working and you know affecting people's life in a positive way in the future also.
We also hope you do that to achieve that. Now, what would you like to share some words of encouragement and what should a message for us students?
Mm, all I can tell you guys from my experience is that uh, life may throw a lot at you. You may be confused about your future, or extremely certain about what your next step is. You might be wondering which dream is the best to turn into your reality, I may say. Or maybe one dream may seem too difficult to you, but as I said, everyone's lives have a fair share of highs and lows. We can only hope for the best and prepare ourselves for the worst. You have to be open to learning, as life is always teaching you, and that's the only way to trust yourself. Trust the process, have perseverance in yourself. It may not be easy, but at the end of the day, believe me or not, it is always worth it. So just keep learning, preparing, and cherish all your memories en route. And I would just like to wish all of you the very best, and hope that you all have as fulfilling an experience that I had at this amazing institution, Agnels. That's it. Wish you all the best.
Thank you for kind words and encouragement. Um, with that, we end this interview. The students can ask their doubts and anything they want to ask.
No, I would like to ask one question,
So,
two questions. First of all, thank you very much for the honest, transparent answers. And we are really proud of you because you are saving so many lives in such an odd situation, all odd environment. So thank you very much for that and wish you all the best for your future. That is one thing.
thank you,
But
sir.
yeah, last 2 years, because of this pandemic,
Sir,
at least in the educational institute, it has been lots of transformation. So,
sir.
what are the additional challenges you had faced because of this pandemic?
Uh, so it has been difficult. The last 2 years have been really difficult for us, in the sense that we cannot work from home. The system that we have, there is no working from home for us. And with all of this happening, it's very difficult to keep yourself also motivated and keep the people below you motivated enough, and to ensure that we all stay safe while working together. Everybody goes back home in the evening, and they're all scared that not for themselves but for their families. Like we used to work here day in day out, and we're working on an helicopter. So at a time, maybe 8 people are on the helicopter. We're touching different things, and you cannot be sanitizing everything at all the times. So working in small areas, like when we go to our locations, there's a small hut. You have minimum amounts of utensils, so you're all sharing most of the things. You can't have all the sanitization that is required as per the protocols of COVID. So when all that happens, it is very difficult to keep going, even though you're hearing so many, saddening news. So that has been difficult for us, making everybody understand and yourself understand that no, things can't keep going if you sit at home. So that's the difficult part, I guess.
Yeah, that is really great. And one more thing, although you didn't elaborate it on the training part, we can understand confidentiality of that. But I suppose that whatever, because you have been using the physical training word,
Yes, sir.
but my understanding is that apart from physical training, the mental toughness that is equally important. So
Sir,
I just wanted to confirm from you that is it that physical training itself taking care of mental toughness also?
sir, I suppose it's a part and parcel, the physical and mental training, because as I was telling you, they ensure that our um, day schedule is so hectic that you're getting less sleep. So that itself takes a toll on you. You are sleep deprived, and then you are working out every day, like you're running for kilometers together. Then so many strengthening exercises are happening, so your body is always fatigued. You have pain in some leg, some muscle might be paining, but then the next day you can't take an off. There is no off unless you're genuinely hurt or you have some injury. But on a daily basis, everybody is sleep deprived, everybody is having some pain because we have done 50 push-ups, this many sit-ups, we have been running, so our legs are paining. So with all that, that itself strengthens you mentally, because you have to get up next day also early morning, and you know that you'll be undergoing the same thing again. So I guess it's part and parcel. So both physical and mental training, it goes together in the training.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, and wish you all the
Right.
best.
Thank you, sir.
If any students need want to ask any doubts, if they have, they can ask.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Yes, excuse me, what exam you have did?
Hi, Krishna. Sorry, could you repeat?
Yes. What exam did you take for this Air Force?
Okay, as I was telling, there's an AFCAT exam, Air Force Common Entrance Test exam, which happens twice in a year. You can get the details from Career Air Force website. So it's a
Yeah.
written exam that you give, in which I'll just repeat all the things. It's a written exam. AFCAT exam is matlab there are two portions to it. One is the written exam and the other is the physical test that happens. So the first part is the entrance exam, written, wherein you will get questions from maths of 10th, 11th, 12th, and basic verbal English and logical reasoning questions. Post that, if you clear that, then you have an uh, entrance exam at the four centers: Dehradun, Mysore, Gandhinagar, and Varanasi. Like, you select one of the centers, and there's a 5-day process there, wherein every day they will be taking your interviews. You'll go through different physical fitness tests and psychological tests. So based on all that, if you clear in both the exams, then based on your merit and the vacancy that they have, then you will get selected, and you undergo a training of 1 year at the Air Force Academy, Hyderabad.
But ma'am, I also searched the Air Force examination. There is a criteria that your eyesight should be clear,
That's
and
only for
your
that's only if you want to apply for the flying.
okay for the ground
Yeah,
technicians it is not required.
no. For ground duties, it's not essential. You
Okay.
might be having some power, but that's all right.
Okay. Ma'am, is it similar to IES exam?
Mm, Not exactly similar, but yes, somewhere there, I would say.
Okay, through IES, so we can go into Air Force.
I'm not very sure about this, but I think they ask you for your choice.
Okay, ma'am.
It's similar to CDS, I would say. CDS, if you apply for CDS, then they ask you which forces you want to join, Army, Air Force, or Navy. So this I'm sure, but IES I'm not sure.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Megha ma'am and Pranali ma'am.
Samidha, my question will sound very childish, but all the exposure that I have of Air Force is only through the bakwas movies that we see. uh, I really want to ask you that how does it feel when one operates parachute? Do you know to operate one, and have you ever jumped?
Ma'am, in my branch, we don't require to operate the parachute
Okay,
though. Uh,
okay,
because I was telling you, I work on the maintenance side of the
correct.
helicopter. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if I tell you in a movie manner, I
Huh.
am more of a person who works in the garage and services the aircraft,
Okay.
gadi for you, for the pilots. So that is what. But yes, we do travel along with them. That is one part. So
Huh.
I've never got an opportunity, but yes, Air Force gives us an opportunity wherein they get you trained in the courses of para jumping also. So
Okay.
I have colleagues who have done it. I did
Mm.
not get a chance because that also requires you to be eligible and then go through a test because everybody cannot be doing it. So I have never applied for it, but I have people who have done it. So मैं आपको नहीं बता पाऊंगी clearly कि how does it feel to operate a
That's
parachute.
the only connection with Air Force so far.
It is ma'am, like all our forces when at times we land at places matlab we go to places wherein there is no place to land the aircraft,
Okay.
so the people are trained that they would require to jump out and carry out a para jump from our hepter to carry out the mission. So we do practice that, but I am not part of it. That's it.
And was there any challenging maintenance assignment for you? Like, it was very crucial, it was difficult to crack. Any such anecdote that you remember?
Ma'am, it is thankfully, or I would say, I've had both the experiences. Like, we keep getting a lot of problems in the helicopters.
Hmm.
So, at times, we're in places like I've had one experience wherein I was in a place in Arunachal
Hmm.
and there's actually nothing there,
Hmm.
no shop, nothing. So, you can imagine that just being in between few mountains at a small helipad, just a plain ground of say 20 feet by 20 feet and two huts. So there wherein one of our engines were not starting up.
Oh,
And then another helicopter was called in and we got an engine there, but engine being of a weight of 700 kgs,
oh,
without any crane it was very difficult for us to
oh.
change the engine at that location. So we did a desi jugaad, like we got a vehicle and उसमें डंडा फंसा के रस्सियों से बांध के somehow we made a pulley there on the spot and then did that job. So that was wherein maybe I can say the engineering part of us helped
Yeah.
us.
I mean, to get things done somehow. That is engineering is all about, right?
Yes, ma'am. So that is one of the things, that is why I've always liked being in the engineering part. Like, I've seen people getting fascinated with the flying part of it, of Indian Air Force, but I always found satisfaction working here. At least my engineering is getting implemented somehow, and it is helping
Repeated
people.
a different challenge on a different scale, and
True, ma'am.
you have to get it done. Getting it done is engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Samantha.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Krishna.
What we have learned in the 4 years engineering courses, is it useful for further studies like you have doing like helicopters study like repairing all and that things?
If you're asking me if the Fourier series is helpful, I would say no, because you actually don't implement it anywhere, but that doesn't mean you don't study it. So, but on a very serious note, see, the basics of the engineering helps you out somehow, somewhere. As I was just telling in my last incident that I discussed, so we had to make a pulley to lift a weight of so much kgs, and at times we had to rectify things wherein you don't know, because the helicopter or all the equipments we have, they're not all Indian made. They've been imported from Russia or France or somewhere, wherein you don't have all the detailed circuit diagrams and everything of how that component is functioning. But now that we have it, and we have to rectify it when we are facing problems, so your engineering does come in help somehow, some way, in some way or the other. So you'll see that all the things that you've learned have helped you somehow, but मे बी तुम्हें ऐसे नहीं याद होगा कि ये आज मैं बॉयल्स लॉ लगा रहा हूँ इसमें, या मैं पास्कल लॉ लगा रहा हूँ, बट वो काम वैसे ही करेगा.
Okay.
Yeah, hello Samita. I'm Pranali ma'am. Good morning to
Ma'am,
you, Samita.
good morning, ma'am. How are you?
How are you? I am also fine. I'm so proud to see you like this, Samita. I can't tell you. I can't express this to see you in this uniform. It's very, 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 very proud feeling, as if my daughter wearing it.
Thank you
So
so much, ma'am.
yeah, I have a few questions. I mean, just two questions. One thing you talked about that exam, which you said, there this exam also has an age limit.
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Hmm.
For every branch, the age limit is different. For
Okay.
flying, it would be different. For the engine, if you've done MTech or
Hmm.
any other post grad, then the age limit is different. So all the eligibility criterias are there on the website, ma'am, which you
Acha,
can
okay.
go through.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like for engineering branch, I think the age limit is 25 if you've done basic bachelor's
Yeah, yeah.
degree, and if you've done masters, then it is 27 or 28.
And branch no bar.
Branch, ma'am, for
Branch.
all the branches it is different, as I was telling you. Like for flying, it is a little less,
Okay. No, no, I'm
because they
saying that
require more.
engineering branch, the stream that you've done your engineering from,
No,
that
no,
doesn't
that
matter.
that is no bar, ma'am. That is no bar.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Another
Yes,
thing is, have you had an experience like what we see actually, what Meghana just said is that our link basically with the Air Force is basically through the films and all those things that we see, and we know it is very exaggerated. Has
yes, ma'am.
there been an experience where there was an attack or something like that, and where all people who are actually on ground also have to participate? So does that actually happen?
It does happen, ma'am. We are trained
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
Uh,
So under
I
emergency,
can.
you may have to fly also.
Yes, because ma'am, if in Mumbai also you would have seen, or in the movies you would have seen, there's a high security at the entrance of all the bases that
Yes.
we have.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so all those things we also do, all those duties. So
Okay.
we are a part of the security also, because anytime, as you saw in Uri, anybody can intrude in our base
Yes.
with the intention of attacking,
Mhm.
and every one of us is trained to fight and counter them.
So you have had an experience like this? You would like to share it with us? Of course, it is allowed to.
Ma'am, it is a little confidential, but yeah, I'll tell you in a very indirect manner as I can, and if I'm
Yeah.
able to explain. Yes, I've had an experience wherein one of my stations, though we being I would say thanks to the god, we didn't have an intrusion as such, but we got an int that something of that sort was being planned. So for 2 nights, matlab 2 days together, through the night also, we all were with the arms and surrounding the base on the fences, and full night we were lying down in the trenches and guarding the base and all prepared for
Oh,
it. Yeah, but
I mean, that
thankfully it
sounds very
didn't go ahead.
exciting and scary also.
It is, ma'am. It is. It does during the practice. It is very interesting, but like that day when we were told that it is actually happening, then yes, we did get a little, cold feet.
Yes. That's really definitely. I can understand that definitely. One last question for you, Samit. I mean, here now down to engineering, if you see the kind of
Yes, ma'am.
admissions or the kind of preferences that our students have is more towards the software, more towards this AI and all of these things, and the basic engineering basically has taken a backseat. I mean, if you think from the preferences or the choices in
Yes, ma'am.
Air Force, how is that scenario? Matlab, how does this software or this intelligence or all this help you? Uh,
Um,
how would
Ma'am,
you rate that?
I would say now, even in the Air Force or all the military forces, we're now shifting towards um more of a internet. Internet, I wouldn't say internet, but more tech savvy. We are all becoming more
Okay.
tech savvy here as well.
Mhm.
But because of the confidentiality and
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
safety aspects of
Yes.
not losing out on any information that we have, um, we are restricted on the technology per se
Okay. Okay. So
on
because
purpose.
the algorithms
So
available today are not secure enough, you have to be
yes,
more.
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. There's a high chance of somebody hacking into our
Yes.
system
Yes.
and getting the data. So, like, one of the things I would like to tell is that I was telling Anita ma'am few days back that ma'am, we don't carry smartphones to our office.
Okay.
So we are not allowed to carry smartphones. So I am still using the basic Nokia, जिसमें वो सांप वाला
Black
गेम
colored
होता था.
model.
Yeah, black color model without any camera. So we all use that because
Okay.
of all these things that something or the other would get leaked, any
Okay.
information, and that can hamper the nation's security.
Yes.
So that ways we're still a little restricted, but yes, we do have a branch wherein they're also improving our internal systems and making it online. So we're not connected
Oh.
to the internet, but we have our net of our own and we're
Mhm.
working on it. So we are also making everything electronic and automated nowadays.
Okay.
But the mechanical aspects of it play a very major role for us, electronics and mechanical part of it, because as I am working on the helicopters, so the engines, all the things, they're all mechanically working. So my basics in mechanics needs to be very strong, aerodynamics needs to be very strong, and all the system installed inside the hepter which the pilot uses, they're all electronic or electrical systems.
Oh,
So
great. You know
there,
what? Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, so there my knowledge of all these things come into picture, and the software part of it takes a backseat for us because it is not involved in the helicopter anywhere, I would say.
Mhm. Okay. 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 Great. Great. That's really very nice. Matlab, actually, we should record this part of your speech and we should put it in our admission video also. There should be no jokes. That was really nice talking to you, Samita. We are very, very proud of you. God bless you. And we
Thank
want
you
to
so
see
much,
you
ma'am.
in flying colors.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now I would like to hand it over to Shaunak. Shaunak, could you continue?
Shaunak, can you hear me? Shaunak,
Yes.
I have one question
Yes,
to
sir.
Samida. Samida, vice is here.
Okay,
Sir,
sir.
very good morning, sir.
Good morning, Samida. Very nice to see you here.
Nice to hear from you, sir.
Samita, yes, sir. Actually, my son is trying to get into defense.
Oh
Right now,
wow, sir.
he's into Sainik school.
Okay.
So I interacted many, people up to NDA just to
Yes.
get their guidance and
Yes.
to increase my knowledge. I have one question here. Uh, how do you see a future of Indian defense as long as government policies are concerned? Indian defense. So there are three wings. How you see as long as government policies are concerned? Question. Okay.
Right, sir.